What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. Boy, I don't know if this video is going to piss people off or if they're going to see the same pattern that I've seen. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. There's been a big pushback to the science-based lifter community where people like my man Kurt Hulkzilla and a couple others are doing videos basically clowning on the science-based lifters. What these little nerds will do is take a video, and you can tell in their video these guys do not look like they lift. And then they'll take a guy who's jacked, sometimes IFBB pros, and be like, imagine they're doing this all wrong. Like their RIR is wrong. They're not judging their RPE correctly. They're obviously overdoing it. There's not enough mechanical tension at the 35-degree angle. I'm like, bro, shut up. You're small. You're a bitch. You're also young, and you don't have the experience. Chris Gethin says, knowledge without mileage is bullshit. And these guys are full of shit. But one thing I didn't notice, now you guys know Kurt. Kurt's black. One thing I noticed when he's doing his critique videos, there's no black guys. It's all a bunch of white nerds. Yes, I said nerds, a bunch of white nerds. You know what they're doing? You know what they're doing? They're making excuses for their shitty genetics and even shittier work ethic. Y'all ever been to a black gym? I'm not saying like a black-only gym. This ain't the Jim Crow era, right? I'm saying you go to a black gym. Where I grew up, while it wasn't a black gym, I was pretty much the only white guy. Let me tell you something. If you've ever been to a black gym, you've had the greatest workout of your life. So you don't see people at black gyms being like, oh my goodness. Oh, goodness gracious. Good grief. I really need to make sure that I don't go within 1 to 2 RIR reps to failure, because then I will be overstimulating my nervous system and my recovery will be all messed up where I won't be able to come back and lift and get my 2 to 3 time frequency with 4 to 8 sets per week. No, there's obviously words used in black gyms that I cannot say here, and I won't say here for obvious reasons. But they're like, nah, lift that shit, bro. We're going to use bro in place of another word that is usually tossed around at those gyms that I don't want to get canceled today, and nor do I really feel like using that word. Know what I'm saying? Shut your mouth. Get your weight, bitch. Those are words. Come on, get your money. Get your money. That's what they do. And I love it. I love it, man. Dude, there was, believe it or not, Culver City, California, in Culver Center. Those of you from the West Side know about this. I believe it's an LA Fitness now. It used to be a Bally Total Fitness. And when I didn't train at Gold's Venice, that's where I would train. It was right by, it was only like 5 minutes from my current wife's house, right? So I'd go train there when I was getting older, like a senior in high school. And I remember like 90% of the gym patrons in that gym were black. And yeah, it was a Bally, but it had the older equipment. It had the hammer strength and like some of the best physiques I've ever seen. And this was the part of California where the pro bodybuilders didn't go. These were just normal dudes who trained. And you'd go to that gym. I remember there's this one big dude, and he used to just rep 405 on bench. And then there was this other like lean guy. Guy had the most defined muscles I've ever seen. And he was the first guy that ever told me he trained full body 3 to 4 days a week. And this guy was insane. And I remember just hanging out with these guys, learning from these guys, talking to these guys. Let me tell you this, not once talking to these amazingly jacked individuals that ever go like, you know what you really need to be concerned about? That you don't train too hard, that you don't go too close to failure, or you might, your RPE might be through the roof. They were like, nah, you know what you do, dog? You come in the gym, you train your fucking ass off, and you'll get fucking huge. I'm like, sounds legit. Look, at the end of the day, if you're an elite athlete, you do have to have load management, fatigue management. But let's be honest, go to any gym. People train like absolute pussies. They're either talking or they're on their phones or they're just not training very hard. Science-based lifting does play a role. For example, if I am preparing a team for an event that's happening that week, I want to mitigate the load so they peak, they go like this, down, and then they peak for the event. That makes sense. But dude, most of these young cats worried about RPE and RIR and LMNOP. Guys, you train like absolute pussies. Until you actually learn how to train to failure, you truly don't know what 1 to 2 reps shy of failure is, because you don't know what it's like to actually go hard enough to fail. So, that being said, what do you think about this video? I gotta be honest, I'm calling like I see it. If there are a couple black science-based lifters who are popular, maybe I just missed them. But I think this is an epidemic amongst whites. I think we white people need to do better. Stop being pussies. Train harder. Stop making excuses. This is a white people problem. Do better, white people. Anyway, guys, hopefully you didn't find this offensive. It's a joke. But it's kind of true. My opinion is most people train like pussies and don't need to worry about RIR or RPE. Just worried about getting your ASS in the GYM. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and tigerfitness.com. We have restocks coming in. Go to tigerfitness.com, but coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA, gets you 10% off the entire site. Thanks for watching. I'm Marc Lobliner. That's not a game.